I'm really pleased to have such a great guest on today, Gunilla Shein. She lives over in Australia, and got a few questions for her. But I think the first one is really can you tell us a bit about your background, Gunilla? Who are you?
Yeah, thank you first of all for having me. I'm actually Swedish Australian. I was born in Sweden, but I've lived in Australia for most part of my life these days. And I'm a former business journalist. I've worked for both radio, television, magazines, daily paper. I've gone from being the little reporter to being the CEO of a publishing house, and I worked in, let's see, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Sweden, Denmark, New York. So I moved around a bit, but after having done that, I realized Australia is best. So I'm here, and so I've actually worked 23 years as a business journalist, and I've interviewed most people that I actually want to interview, and I've also written quite a few books, mainly about businesses, small and medium-sized enterprise, about starting up, about superannuation, taxes, and all of those subjects. When people ask me, say, how many books have you written? And I say 23. Then they always expect to have a series of novels with love and everything. And I then start off with, say, taxes. They just look at me, and then they look at the other guests at the dinner table. Then I'm out. So anyway, so that is pretty much what I have done. I'm also having a background as a counselor, so I do counseling. So maybe going to come to that. But that's my new business adventure that I put together. A few things like that.
Yeah. So out of all the people that you've interviewed, can you name, like, who were the three who really just amazed you the most?
Yeah, I have to say the Dalai Lama is on number one.
Why?
Because he's number one, he's such a warm personality, and when we met the first time, I met him a couple of times. He stretched out his arms and gave me a big hug, and he was sort of saying, "Oh, thank you for the work you're doing." I've been quite active with the Tibetan movement, with schools in Tibet. So he was really warm, and he's so up to date with every topic. It didn't matter what topic I throw at him. He sort of can come with figures, and he's really, really updated, and he's so interested in so many things. And because he is interested in many things, he becomes an interesting person to talk to.
Right.
He is definitely number one. Number two, out of business perspective, I think I have to say Ingvar Kamprad. And now you will say, who is that? But if I say IKEA, then everybody will know. He is the founder of IKEA. And I've interviewed him a couple of times. And he's also a super interesting person, down to earth, and his advice for starting businesses and how to do it and how to survive. He is outstanding. He's outstanding. And he's so humble. Three. Maybe I should have said Tony Blair to honor your country, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say. I'm actually going to say the Pope, the John Paul II, because I think that he was the first Pope that become human.
Right.
Otherwise, they sort of have this shine of being God themselves. But he was very human, and he was also, like the Dalai Lama, he was also very on top with many, many subjects. So those are my three top.
Wow.
Or should I have said a woman also? My God. an interesting woman. Oh my God, I have to be ashamed now because I'm a woman myself. But
well, we can. You can think about why don't you think about that for the next time we do an interview,
yes,
and
yeah,
then you can do three women next time.
3 women next time, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I should have actually asked you who were the top 3 women.
Well, I would have come up with some.
So I know you've recently started your business, Mind Power for Businesses. What is that, and why did you start it?
Yeah, it has to do with, I've been, as I said, journalist for decades, and I've been chasing around the world interviewing people, and I just thought it must be another way of living life. And the main thing is that I don't really want to be stuck in a country on a certain period. Because my situation is this, that I have my elderly parents in Sweden and I have my children here in Australia.
Okay.
So I want to be able to float around between my countries. So I then thought, what can I do? And if there's something I know something about, and quite a lot, it is businesses. And I also happen to know quite a bit about mind power. And I've been trained by John Keogh for many, many years in Canada. So I go to Canada every year.
Right. So sorry, can I just interrupt? So who is John?
Oh, sorry. John Keogh, he is I think you can say, founder of Mind Power. He is today 78. Mm-hmm. And he is really put the foundation. I mean, there are many that can say that maybe I was the founder, he was the founder, but he sort of really put it together with mind power and mental power, together with brain surgeries and psychiatrists. So, so I've been training with him for many years.
Wow. And that's about controlling the mind so you can get more out of your life, right? And more out of your business, yeah?
Yeah. It is. I mean, if you think about it, that you have between 30 to 50,000 thoughts every day going through your mind.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty crappy, useless, worry, anxiety, memories, or just pondering the car next to me. Is it 2 or 3 people in that car? Or is it 2 maybe? Oh, I wonder how many. All those useless thoughts that doesn't have any impact in our lives. Right. So by training your mind, you learn to sort of dissolve all of those unnecessary things, and all the thoughts that are necessary, you learn to align. When you are aligned, a lot of good things are happening in your life, because you also have a lot of strength. And, people, they are asking, my God, you always have so much energy. Do you have to do all of these things? Yes, I have to, because I have so much energy, and I don't really watch television or anything like that. I don't have time for that. So, with the mind power, there are a lot of training that you need to do. Like if you want to be if I want to have the Olympic gold in swimming for Australia, I better do my laps every day. Yeah. You need to do training, and like you did the tables when you went to schools with maths, you need to train here as well. But when you have done it, and that's what I say to everybody coming to me for training, that if you're willing to give me 120 days of your life and 20 minutes per day, I promise you, it's a guarantee actually, that you will turn around your life to any direction that you want to be in.
Yeah,
right?
I can believe that. I've been doing some coaching over the years, and just before you appeared on my Facebook, and we had a conversation, I'd found a coach who does a very similar thing to what you do, and it is really important, isn't it, to kind of catch those thoughts before they almost act like they're a bit like a poison, aren't they? And you need to just kind of shut them off or shut them down and get rid of them.
Absolutely. And every thought that you have, that is starting off with an emotion, whatever that would be. Like, or tomorrow I'm going to have a fantastic lunch with my girlfriend, whatever, it's going to be a great day. Well, every thought that starts off with that emotion magnifies, and it attracts similar.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm saying, oh my God, I'm going to have a crappy lunch tomorrow, my God, do I need to do this? Well, guess what's going to happen? That is what it's going to be, and 10 times worse.
Right.
So, this is an old saying, what man thinks about, he becomes, and that is how it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about that, but, generally it's been over the years quite a wishy-washy kind of subject. And unfortunately, there are the people who, I'm not mentioning any names, but they just encourage people to really just feel good and do nothing. And it's like, and those are the people that I think are creating a real bad reputation for your actual industry that you're in, right? Because it's about taking action, isn't it? It's not about, oh, I'm going to sit back today and feel the vibes, man.
That is not really, I wouldn't have written 23 books if I was waiting for inspiration and wasn't waiting for it to come, because I would still be waiting. No, this is absolutely something totally different. Mental training, that is coming back to my swimmers, because coming from Australia, we have a lot of good swimmers. Mm-hmm. That, they have mental training. Who is going to win? The one that has the best speedos or whatever? No, the one who's already seen him or herself as a winner.
Yeah.
That's the person that is going to win. And that has nothing to do with any new age or any positive thinking. This is mental power. This is more like neuroscience. Step into that area. So still, when doing this that I do with my clients, I am also going through a lot of the normal business tools. We go through a business. I mean, usually they're coming to me because they do have what they perceive a business problem, but really, very rarely they do. Yes, their turnover has come down, but yes, that is just the result. What was the reason? And the reason is within them. Oh, you had a divorce 3 years ago. Oh, you had a brain seizure 2 years ago, whatever. Things has happened in their life that changed their business. So then, because I have a counseling background as well, so then I just use traditional counseling tools like cognitive behavioral therapy, but mix them of course, together with all the business tools. And so I go through the profit and loss statement, and I can scrutinize any of those.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing, all my life, doing that with companies. And also I was, for a long period, I was both a crime and a finance journalist for financial crimes. So that is another thing that you do when you do that kind of work. So it's very, very far away from being, away with the fairies or anything like that. This is figure straight up.
Yeah, it's straight. You mean business, right? I mean, so what use can a business owner have from actually using the mind power techniques and methods that you show them and teach them and everything?
I mean, they become a lot clearer in their mind, and they can then filter through the thoughts themselves. I don't need that. I don't need it. Go away. And then they can use the thoughts that they really need. Those thoughts that become stronger. Right. But also, because they become very focused in their lives, that affects their health as well. It affects their sleeping patterns. They sleep less, and they start to realize that, oh my God, I maybe need to take care of this, because this is actually what is holding me. So many of them start to eat healthier and to take away the crappy food, start to exercise. That is sort of a side effect, because they are opening their mind and start to think that I am more than just my mind. I still need to look after this.
Yeah. It's very important. Very important. Yes. I mean, there's been a lot of research, hasn't there, over the years, like when monks meditate, and how they actually change the way that their brains kind of work, don't they? And they shut down a lot of these thoughts, and get rid of them, because they don't need them, right? Like 50,000 or 30,000 thoughts a day. If 25,000 of those are rubbish, you know, and a waste of time, then you've got to find a way, haven't you, of shutting them off, right?
Exactly. And what you do as well is that, you know, that is the process when you become sharper, but it also affects your mood. So you become even, you don't have the tops and the bottoms. Maybe you are moody, maybe angry, irritated, frustrated. You know, you become more even, because it goes, when you become angry and all of that, it goes a lot of energy that goes out of you. Now you can keep your energy within your frame and use it for the better good for both yourself and others around you, your staff.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah. Because you have responsibilities, right, to help others. I mean, that's the major thing, isn't it? So tell me a little bit about your clients. Who are they?
My clients, the criteria is really when they come in, they are business owners, and 99% are men. I don't know why, that's just how it is. I have very, very few women. Maybe have something to do with it that I couldn't name 3 good women that I need to do. Oh my God, here comes my own pattern. Anyway, so I have 99% are men. So they have usually also been through something on the personal side. It doesn't need to be something dramatic, but it can also be that, you know, at a certain time, maybe between 40 and 50, people start to think like, was this all? Or what am I going to do now with my life? Or what is the next step? I've done this, what am I going to do? You know, it is a restlessness, and then something has happening in their business. Or I also have a few cases that is actually about succession, when they're going to come in a new generation, maybe their own kids, so they're going to sell it, or they're going to merge with somebody. So then there are thoughts like that goes on.
That's difficult. That's a very difficult dynamic there with the family firm and the succession planning. My uncle, he does that on an accounting point of view in Canada. Or he used to. I think he might have just retired, but he's been doing the succession planning from an accounting firm for many years. But I went through a similar thing, and my dad sold. We finished up the business, and I moved on to something else, because sometimes that business is not about the next generation. It is about the person and the individual. And unfortunately, if it is, then they don't like to let go of the reins. You have to just, you know, move onwards, don't you, at the end of the day? But on to the next question I've got. So how long do you think you're going to stay in Australia for, and where are you going to go after that?
Well, I have my little circle now. So I am going around March, April, I'm going to go back to Sweden. And then I sort of stay there for the summer. And then I'm going to Canada in September, when it starts to become autumn and cold over in Sweden. Right. And then I spend some time in Canada, and then it's time to come back to lovely, beautiful Australia, to Gold Coast, where I live in Queensland.
Fantastic. So
around. So my clients, I have them, I should say, over Skype. I only do online because I'm moving around too much.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I know that you do a lot of training to keep yourself fit, physically and mentally. What do you do every day?
Every day I'm having quite I wouldn't say strict regime. Yeah, I say strict. I do go to the gym early in the morning, and then I do my gym thing. I have a session in the day when I swim 1 kilometer at the pools just here around the corner. And then of an evening, I also have my yoga exercises. So those are on the physical. Yoga is both physical and mentally. But then I have my mind power exercises that I'm throwing in during the day, depending when I have some spare time. So that is about 45 minutes I do. So I do at least 6 different things, 3 that are mentally and 3 that are physically.
Right. So the yoga fits. The yoga is kind of both mental and physical, right?
Yes, it is.
So is
Yeah.
it a case of? I mean, I do a lot of Tai Chi, like internal strength exercises, and there's a big crossover between that and yoga, right? Because of
Yes.
the history
Yeah.
of all of that sort of stuff and the monks and this sort of stuff. But it's like, for me, it's like the pain actually makes me be quiet because I can't think because I'm too busy holding the posture which I'm trying to hold, or otherwise I'm going to fall over. Is that kind of similar to the yoga poses that you're holding?
Yeah, both that, but also the breathing exercises, about the breathing techniques that goes with it. I
Right.
think that's the most important thing for me to have, and I can throw that in a few things during the day as well, depending what my day look like.
Right.
Uh, that is, the breathing is more important to me than the posture.
Right.
I have to say, because the breathing that is what we need to do to access. But the swimming is sort of more, I mean, I love the swimming for the whole body. It is really, really good to do that. So I think, I mean, not everybody can live maybe like that. And I live here on an island, I should say, and I have everything within 200 meters from where I live.
Yeah.
So I know that I haven't lived like that all my life. I've lived in small dumps in India and all sorts of places I've been to when
Of
I've been
course,
using.
as a reporter, that must, yeah, that must have been
So now
exciting.
I can actually choose where to live. So yeah. So then
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, what is the best advice that you can give business owners today? So, your
oh
three best business tips for a successful business.
yeah, uh, you know, number one is really to stay true to themselves. Really, to stay true to themselves. To yes, you need to follow, you need to take in advice, you need to hear them, and you need to listen to those people and those people. But number one, don't lose your gut instinct, because if you don't have that, you will just be a leaf in the wind. You know, you will be flying here and there. So very, very important. Um, Also, when you're growing, I can't say it, often enough, go check your cash flow every week when you're growing, because it's so easy, and I see it happening over and over again, that business owners, that they forget that because they're so busy. But really, that is the first thing. And have the ear to the market, as they say, because so many things are happening today. But having said that, at the same time, sometimes I think that we are jumping, that goes for all of us. We are jumping at every beep. Oh, what was that? Oh, what was that? Oh, have you heard about that funnel? Have you heard about that? Well, stay with your business and do that one, what you have to do. And then if you miss a funnel here or a clickbait there, whatever, so be it. But if you constantly improve your skills, your performance in your business, you will have success.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really just a matter of just refining, isn't it, and getting better and better as you move.
Better and better. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
to spend money on your self-development. I've, over the last 3 years, I've put in $100,000, and people say, what, $100,000? You could put in a deposit for a house. Yes, I could. But if I don't invest in this, it doesn't matter how many houses I have, how many properties I have.
yeah,
So I think that is important to do for everybody.
yeah, yeah. I agree 100%. I can't thank you enough for well, writing these articles as well on my site. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm gonna release that next one later, and it's been a real joy. So if anyone's kind of listening to this and would like to find you, I will put a link somewhere on my website, and I'll probably best if you tell them what your website URL is, perhaps.
Yeah, that is www.mindpowerforbusinesses.com. So I am going to put it up on LinkedIn and Facebook as well. So, and I put it up on my YouTube channel as well.
Okay, fantastic. Right. Well, I really appreciate it. And yeah, everyone should visit my website if you're not on there already, and actually subscribe to the in-browser notifications, because I've got that on there. So that'll pop up. And it saves all the hassle of an email list and everything. And I can just send a blast to people's browsers. Isn't that great?
That is great. That is great.